The legal disclaimer ensures transparency about recipe sources and viewer responsibility. Kuih Rose, also known as Kuih Loyang, Kuih Goyang, Kembang Goyang, or in English as Rosette Cookies, Honeycomb Cookies, and Beehive Cookies, is one of the most visually enchanting and addictive snacks in the Malaysian festive cookie repertoire. Its name is a study in the cookie's own making. Kuih Rose refers to the delicate rose-like shape the batter takes when fried. Kuih Loyang means brass cake, named for the brass mold that gives the cookie its intricate lattice form. And Kuih Goyang means shaking cake, a nod to the technique of shaking the mold to release the half-cooked batter into the hot oil. The Indonesian name Kembang Goyang translates to shaking flower, capturing both the action and the floral result in a single phrase. Despite its deep association with Malaysian, Singaporean, and Indonesian festivities, it appears at Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, and Deepavali tables alike. The cookie's lineage traces back to European Rosette cookies, likely introduced to Southeast Asia through Dutch or Portuguese influence. What sets the Southeast Asian version apart is its batter, where the Scandinavian rosette relies on all-purpose flour, milk, and eggs. The Malaysian Kuih Rose is built on rice flour and coconut milk, producing a wafer-thin, shatteringly crisp shell with a faintly sweet, coconut-perfumed aroma. The coconut milk is the defining adaptation. It lends a richness and fragrance that the European original, dusted with icing sugar, does not possess. Lee Suk Ching's recipe in Malaysian home cooking uses a blend of plain flour and rice flour, a hybrid that gives the batter enough body to cling to the mold while still yielding the signature crispness. The process is deceptively simple. A thin batter is dipped onto a preheated brass mold. The mold is plunged into hot oil, and after a few seconds, a gentle shake releases a lacy, golden flour that crisps as it cools. Yet mastering the technique, the oil temperature, the mold's heat, the depth of the dip, is what separates pale, stuck-on disasters from perfect, translucent rosettes. As every cross-reference source confirms, the first few cookies are sacrificial. Once the rhythm of heat, dip, and shake is found, the process becomes almost meditative. Batter: fresh grated coconut, 1/4 coconut, plain flour, 3/4 cup, rice flour, 4 tablespoons, sugar, 3 tablespoons, egg, 1 beaten, cooking oil for deep frying. Here are the written ingredient list. Preparation steps. Step 1. Extract the coconut milk. Take the 1/4 grated coconut and add a small amount of warm water. Knead and squeeze the grated coconut firmly to extract 1 cup of thick coconut milk. Strain through a fine sieve or muslin cloth to remove any coconut solids, yielding a smooth, creamy liquid. Set aside. If fresh grated coconut is unavailable, substitute with 1 cup of canned unsweetened coconut milk, coconut cream, not the drinking kind. Thin it slightly with water if it is excessively thick. Cross-reference note: Marvelina emphasizes that the coconut milk is what makes the Kuih Rose aromatic and fragrant, distinguishing it from its European counterpart. She recommends fresh coconut milk or canned unsweetened coconut milk, never the sweetened coconut milk sold for drinking. Step 2. Sift the flours and combine with sugar. Sieve both the 3/4 cup of plain flour and the 4 tablespoons of rice flour together into a mixing bowl. This sifting step is important. It aerates the flours, removes any lumps, and ensures the two flours are evenly integrated. Add the 3 tablespoons of sugar to the sifted flours and mix well with a whisk to distribute the sugar uniformly throughout the dry mixture. Step 3. Form the batter. Make a well in the center of the dry ingredients. Drop in the 1 beaten egg and pour in half of the coconut milk. Using a whisk or wooden spoon, mix from the center outward, gradually drawing in the flour to form a smooth, lump-free paste. Once the initial mixture is smooth, add the remaining coconut milk and continue to mix until the batter is thin and pourable. It should have the consistency of single cream. If lumps persist, strain the batter through a fine sieve into a clean bowl. Step 4. Beat and rest the batter. Beat the batter continuously for approximately 10 minutes. This extended beating develops the structure of the flour and incorporates air, which contributes to the cookie's light, crisp texture. After beating, cover the bowl and let the batter rest for 30 minutes. Resting allows the flour to fully hydrate and the gluten to relax, resulting in a smoother, more cohesive batter that will cling evenly to the mold. Cross-reference note: Marvelina recommends resting the batter for 15 minutes and stresses that the batter must be smooth and lump-free before frying. Linda strains the batter into a deep bowl to ensure a silky consistency. Both agree that a thin, smooth batter is essential for delicate, crispy results. A batter that is too thick will produce heavy, doughy cookies that refuse to release from the mold. Step 5. Prepare the frying station. Pour cooking oil into a deep, heavy-bottom saucepan or pot to a depth of 3-4 inches, deep enough to fully submerge the Kuih Rose mold without it touching the base of the pot. Heat the oil over medium heat to approximately 170–80 degrees Celsius. To test the temperature without a thermometer, insert a wooden chopstick into the oil. If small bubbles steadily stream from the tip, the oil is ready. Line a plate or wire rack with absorbent paper towels for draining the finished cookies. Have the Kuih Rose mold ready and resting on a heat-proof surface near the stove. See a cross-reference note. Both Marvelina and Linda stress the importance of a deep pot so the mold can be fully submerged without touching the bottom. Linda recommends testing oil readiness with the chopstick bubble method, while Marvelina specifies medium heat to prevent the oil from overheating and burning the delicate cookies. Cooking steps. Step 6. Preheat the mold. Once the oil has reached frying temperature, submerge the Kuih Rose mold into the hot oil for 30-60 seconds to preheat it thoroughly. The mold must be hot. If it is not, the batter will not adhere to the metal when dipped and will fail to form a proper coating. Remove the preheated mold from the oil and shake off the excess oil vigorously. Briefly dab the mold on a paper towel to remove any remaining oil droplets, but do not let it cool. Cross-reference note, Marvelina identifies a cold mold as the single most common reason Kuih Rose fails. She advises, if the batter does not stick to the mold, return the mold to the oil to reheat it, then pat dry and try again. Linda preheats the mold for 30 seconds and shakes off excess oil before dipping. Step 7. Dip the mold into the batter. Immediately after preheating and dabbing the mold, dip it into the rested batter in one swift, confident motion. Submerge the mold until the batter nearly reaches the top of the mold, but do not let the batter flow over the top edge. The hot metal will sizzle faintly as it contacts the wet batter, and a thin, even layer should coat the mold's decorative surface. Hold the mold in the batter for 2-3 seconds, then lift it straight out and allow any excess batter to drip back into the bowl. Give the mold a gentle shake to distribute the coating evenly. Cross-reference note, this is the most critical step. Marvelina explicitly warns, the top of the mold shouldn't be touching the batter. If batter flows over the top edge, it will seal the cookie to the mold and make release impossible. Linda dips the mold 7/8 of the way and confirms you will hear a sizzle. That auditory cue confirms the mold is hot enough. Step 8. Fry the Kuih Rose. Immediately plunge the batter-coated mold into the hot oil, holding it fully submerged, but without letting it touch the base of the pot. Hold steady for 10-15 seconds. The batter will set and begin to turn a pale golden color. At this point, gently shake the mold, a side-to-side and up-and-down motion, to release the half-cooked cookie from the metal. The cookie should slide off the mold and drop into the oil. If it does not release after 15 seconds, use a long cooking chopstick or skewer to gently ease the edges of the cookie away from the mold. Cross-reference note, both Marvelina and Linda note that the cookie will still be soft when it releases into the oil. It will not crisp up until it is lifted out and exposed to air. Marvelina counts to 15 seconds before lifting the mold to release the cookie. Linda uses a gentle shake after about 10 seconds and resorts to a chopstick if the cookie resists. Do not fry until the cookie appears crispy in the oil. By then, it will be burnt. Fry only to a light golden brown. The cookie will continue to crisp as it cools. Step 9. Drain and cool. Using a slotted spoon or spider strainer, lift the golden Kuih Rose from the oil and transfer it to the paper towel-lined plate or wire rack. Allow it to drain and cool completely. The cookie will be soft and pliable when first removed from the oil, but will become crisp and brittle within minutes as it cools. This transformation is the hallmark of a correctly fried Kuih Rose. Do not stack the warm cookies on top of each other, as they will stick together before they crisp. Step 10. Repeat and store. Stir the batter gently before each dip, as the rice flour will settle to the bottom of the bowl. Between each cookie, return the mold to the hot oil for a few seconds to reheat it, then dab off excess oil before dipping into the batter again. Repeat step 7, 9, until all the batter is used, yielding approximately 24 cookies. Allow all the Kuih Rose to cool completely before transferring them to an airtight container. Store at room temperature, where they will remain crisp for up to 2 weeks. Cross-reference note, Marvelina stresses stirring the batter before every dip. The rice flour settles quickly, and an unstirred batter will produce uneven cookies. She also notes that the cookies retain their crispness for up to 2 weeks in an airtight container or zipper bag. Beyond that, they may begin to absorb moisture and turn soggy. Linda confirms the same storage duration and notes that, in practice, the cookies rarely last long enough to worry about storage. Notes and tips. The mold, the Kuih Rose mold, known as a Loyang in Malay, is essential and cannot be substituted with a conventional cookie cutter. Traditional molds are made of brass and come in floral, star, and rosette patterns. European rosette irons, widely available online, work equally well and come in a variety of decorative shapes. Singaporean Malaysian Recipes notes that the mold's pattern is purely aesthetic. Any rosette iron will produce a valid Kuih Rose. If you inherit a brass mold, ensure it is clean and free of tarnish before use. Oil temperature control. Maintaining a consistent oil temperature is the key to success. If the oil is too hot, the cookies will brown too quickly and burn before the batter sets. If too cool, the batter will absorb oil and become greasy rather than crisp. Medium heat is ideal. If the oil begins to smoke, reduce the heat and wait for it to stabilize. Winter recommends medium-low heat and the chopstick bubble test as a reliable gauge. Why cookies stick to the mold? The most common problem, confirmed by all three cross-reference sources, is a mold that is not hot enough. The solution is simple: return the mold to the oil to reheat, dab off the excess oil, and dip again. Other causes include batter that has flowed over the top of the mold, batter that is too thick, or a mold that has cooled between cookies. Marvelina also notes that excess oil on the mold before dipping will repel the batter. Always dab the mold on a paper towel after preheating. Batter consistency: the batter should be thin and runny, like single cream or a light crepe batter. If it is too thick, the resulting cookie will be heavy and doughy rather than delicate and lacy. To thin a thick batter, add coconut milk or water a tablespoon at a time until the correct consistency is reached. Lee Suk Ching's blend of plain flour and rice flour produces a slightly thicker batter than the all-rice flour versions of the cross-references. If a more delicate result is desired, increase the rice flour proportion and reduce the plain flour accordingly. Flavor and color variations: all cross-reference sources offer variations. Marvelina suggests infusing the coconut milk with 3-4 pandan leaves blended and strained, which imparts a natural green tint and a fragrant, vanilla-like aroma. Food coloring can be added for festive occasions. Pink, green, and yellow are traditional for Chinese New Year. Singaporean Malaysian recipes notes that pandan, vanilla, rose water, and orange blossom water are all popular flavorings. The Persian version uses rose water, while the Scandinavian original is traditionally unflavored and dusted with icing sugar. Make a head tip: the batter can be prepared up to 2 hours in advance and kept covered at room temperature. Stir well before using. Do not refrigerate the batter, as cold batter will lower the oil temperature and cause the cookies to absorb excess grease. The finished Kuih Rose can be made days ahead of a festival and stored in airtight containers. Their crispness actually improves after 24 hours of resting, as any residual moisture fully evaporates. Serving: Kuih Rose are served as a festive snack, often alongside other Malaysian New Year cookies such as pineapple tarts and Kuih Bangkit. They are best eaten by hand, snapped into shards, and savored for their shattering crispness and delicate coconut sweetness. A cup of hot Chinese tea is the traditional accompaniment, its slight astringency providing a perfect counterpoint to the cookie's richness.